welcome back. So right now we're focusing on something different here. We're focusing on magnetics, okay? After last night's physics lecture, it occurred to me I need to go back into some of my old physics lectures and go through some notes. So going through the notes, I stumbled across something, and I don't have any way to demonstrate it, but I found this video that's going to demonstrate what it's going to demonstrate my theory and what my theory is and exactly what's going on here, Brian or folks. Hi there in the chat room. Welcome, folks. Can you hear me? Everything good? Visuals and sound? It should be. Okay, so back to where I was. No, we're not doing a solar report right now. We're doing this physics, another applied physics lecture. We got astounding stuff, folks, so just hold on tight, okay? Let me get settled here. Promise to maintain composure. All right, so going through my notes, I discovered, some old stuff that I was working on and that I discarded, and going through it really made a big revelation here. So I'm going to try to do this as methodically as I can. So we're going to start off with this quick little video of a demonstration here. Okay, this is what happens when you take magnets to a glass of water. All right, now I want you guys to visually understand and see what happens to this glass of water when he puts two magnets next to it. Whoop, okay, that was it. Real quick, let's play it one more time. Whoops, different one. Wrong one. There we go. This one. Now watch. All right. These magnets are creating a vortex in there, but why? Everybody wants to know why. Why do these magnets make water do this? Okay. So let's go into my applied physics here, and this is going to go on the list here eventually here, but let me go to, the second, we got to do a second demonstration now, okay? No, the second demonstration and then the explanation. So here in this one, all right. This gentleman has manufactured a magnet that rotates on a little spindle. It spins around, okay? It's a rotating with little magnets glued to it, all right? Then he takes, I don't want to play this whole video, okay? Then he takes the thing and he puts it underneath this cylinder, okay? That he's going to fill with water. All right, he's filled it with water, and he's put this spinning magnetic field underneath this glass of water. All right, now what do you think is going to happen when he spins these magnets underneath this water after looking what you just saw? Let's get to the part where he plays it here. Okay, whoops. Back up a little bit. All right, so, wait. All right, there we go. All right, he's spinning that thing, and it's creating a vortex in the water, okay? Why does this do this? It's not touching the water. Why does it create a vortex without touching the water? Okay, this is an effect that I like to call, where did I put it? Hang on, I got to sift through notes real quick. This is an effect that I like to call, where did I put it? I forgot what I called it, but here's an explanation. This is an oscillating magnetic field, right? The other one has a positive and a negative on the sides. The other one has positive and negative. Those are oscillating magnetic fields that cause a vortex, right? Okay, so we got magnetic fields that cause a vortex. Now, this is created because water is made of H2O, and those molecules have polarity. So the polarity of the magnet is actually grabbing onto the molecules and rotating them, causing that oscillation causes those molecules to rotate, okay? You understand what I'm saying here? It latches on, the magnetics latch on to the magnetic field of the molecules, all right? Causing the molecules to oscillate in the rotation, okay? Causing a vortex, right? You understand what I'm saying? And I can't find the term I wrote down for that. Oh, so deep into the notes right now. This is crazy. Anyways, back to business. So I need you guys to understand this concept of how a magnet grabs a hold of the water, of the molecules of the water, and forces those molecules to rotate and oscillate around in a vortex type pattern, okay? It's actually magnetically grabbing the water and making it oscillate in a vortex type fashion. Ta-da. Okay, back to my notes real quick here. What does it say here? The new makes new magnetic. All right, hang on just a second. I have to do this correctly. All right, so you guys are sitting there kind of grasping this concept, okay? Now, yeah, let's try to move onward now. Okay, so back here to our anomaly, right? Let's move it around. And to report on this real quick, let me get a better brightness or something for you guys here. All right, you see it? It's still there. It really hasn't changed position much, okay? It has shifted slightly, but it really is still in the same location. And there is a typhoon in this area, okay? And last night I thought, okay, I made a mistake and it was just the typhoon. So I looked deeper into it, and what is this reading, okay? So let me take a sip here, and I'm going to explain exactly what this reading is now. Okay, so at this part, we're looking at the troposphere, right? We're looking at the upper level winds, but when you go to move this, the winds disappear, right? And it shows this, right? Now, what is this detecting? Well, let's look around here. Is it detecting water temperature? Is this detecting water temperature? Well, if we look over here at Australia, remove the lines, okay, sorry. If we look over here at Australia, you see this big heat anomaly, right? Well, so it's not the temperature of the water, because this isn't water. This is detecting temperature. So I come over to our thing here, our little scale. All right, it doesn't say what the colors mean. It just gives the scale, right? So it doesn't tell you what scale of what. So I'm going to show you that this is a scale of temperature. These colors on this scale are a scale of temperature. So as we pan back, you see reds and stuff around the equator. Oh, wait, let me get rid of this part. All right. So you see reds and stuff around the equator. You see blues and stuff more up here where it's cooler. Okay. There's reds over land as well as water. So the coloration is not the water. The coloration is the planet underneath the water. Okay, this is where the surface underneath the water is heating up. This is where it's cooler. We're in winter right now in the northern hemisphere where it's cooler. They're in summer down here in the southern hemisphere where it's warmer. So these are temperatures. See how it turns blue down at the pole? Then it turns green in the mid latitudes, more yellow than red. So this is obviously a temperature scale. This coloration is obviously a temperature scale of the crust, not the water. Okay? See? It's not the water because it's out here in water, but then here it's on the land. So I think we can all agree that the coloration of this effect right here is land, right? Land that is underwater, right? Okay, so we are now detecting coloration of land that is underwater. Can we all come to an agreement on that? This now, just because it doesn't say temperature on it, it does say scale, but a scale of what? Well, what do we usually use these colors for? Intensification color code? For temperatures, right? Because it's not being used as coloration for the wind, right? Because the wind currents are different. They oppose the coloration, right? So this coloration can only be one thing, and it can only be the coloration of the crust that's of the crust, okay? And crust that's underwater. So no longer is this just the air currents from a typhoon in the area, okay? Something underwater is heating up the crust in circular fashion, okay? You getting this? Is this absorbing in a little bit? So now, having run my experiment, or having looked at my notes, I don't have a lab to run experiments anymore. These little videos so you guys could get a visualization since I don't have a lab. So now you understand the core. Yes, this is a result of the core. It's not a result of the hurricane. So if it's a result of the core and we're having magnetic field in this area heating up this area, a magnetic field heating up this area, it would cause a rotation in the water. Wouldn't you agree? Didn't we just see a magnetic anomaly create a vortex in the water? Okay? Wouldn't it be nice if we could see the tides in that area, huh? So I looked over here, and on our little thing, it shows currents. Water currents, not air currents, but water currents. Wonder what the water currents over our anomaly look like. Let's zoom in, shall we? So the currents, where to go? It should have been on this one. Let's go right here to this one. There we go. Wrong setting. Now, as we go in, you can see these currents. All right. And I was expecting to see some kind of vortex over this anomaly, right? But it's not there. Can I find it again? Where'd it go? Oh, it has changed. No, it's still there. Okay. You know what's going to happen to the people during the flip. No one on the surface will survive. I don't think anybody on the surface is going to survive. Sorry, I was answering a question in the chat room. Back to my train of thought here. Sorry, I can't look at the chat right now. I get distracted. So now, back to where we were. I'm looking at the currents now to see if we can find a vortex. So as I zoom in here, let me remove this. Over our site, hopefully the camera's picking up, there's no vortex, all right? So that kind of made me think, all right, well, maybe it's not affecting the water at all. But then, as I looked through my notes, there was a theory I came up with that I tried to show other people. And This rotation could cause a giant whirlpool, right? Wouldn't that be what wouldn't that be what you would expect to see after our experiments, is a giant whirlpool forming here in the ocean? Well, I'm warning you folks, you might see that, okay? But there's also an opposite effect here's the term that I was looking for. All right, we're getting to it now. You can have a whirlpool effect, or when all these magnetic fields converge, magnetics repel each other as well. So you could have an opposite type effect, which I theorize and call an X repulsion site. It would be a site located, it would be an actual site or an actual position where all the magnetic field lines repulse, or where things would repulse each other, okay? So I'm looking around here for an X repulsion site, okay? Write that down and think of an X repulsion site. Now, as I zoom in here, I want you to look. Here is our anomaly, okay? And look at this temperature scale. Before we even address that, let's just, the temperature. We're looking for an X repulsion site. Well, gosh darn, if just off of this, over here in this flow, everything is coming together and then being repulsed at our X-shaped repulsion site. Do you see it, folks? And the reason why it's not right over this, because this is in the crust, this is up above in the water. Our X repulsion site is still over our anomaly. It's just up and shifted a little bit because of the water column. It's higher. And the crust, the earth is spinning this way, the water's lagging just a tad bit behind. Let me zoom in on this flow so you guys can see the X repulsion site now. All right, right here. And this is what forms at the top of the planet. All the weather comes up to it, gets close to it, turns, and repulses and gets pushed away. Look how everything is coming in equal distant and coming into this site. Okay? My theory, I just proved my theory. Okay? We are going into lands of physics that these guys were theorizing. I am proving to you guys now. So this is no longer just a hurricane. All right? All right. Whatever you want, excuse. There's no excuses anymore. And this is why. Because underneath this is this temperature anomaly. Okay? You see the squares? Do you see this weird shapeage? And now let's go into the coloration. We have cold core, blue, surrounded by green, a little warmer. And then we have this shape. Now back a long time ago, when I was first looked at this, I saw the little red dot around it, right? And I thought it was their way of indicating a hurricane. But when we look closer now, and we know that the coloration is detecting temperature, the temperature, right? We have the whole temperature spectrum in this little blob right here, okay? The reason for this, you should have seen the shape it was about 2 hours ago. It was in a perfect X with perfect purple boxes on this side, on this side, on this side, on this side. Now it has changed shape, but it still has structure, which I want to point out. You see these corners? You see this? Okay. Before I explain that, where did I put the other notes? Okay. So, as I postulated, this new let me say it right. This new central magnetic pole, this new central magnetic pole will make a new, where to go, will make new field lines, right? It's a new magnetic pole, so it should make new field lines. There we go. Puh, I could spit it out. That makes sense, right? We have a new magnetic pole, and if it is a magnetic pole, it should generate magnetic field lines, right? Just working backwards. So these angles are the new magnetic field lines, and they have been changing shape and jumbling and changing this structure. But this is an original structure I saw before, and a little while ago it was an X with purple boxes. So this is no longer a typhoon, okay? This is a magnetic anomaly, a heat signature from a magnetic anomaly that is causing our surmised X repulsion site shows up like it does at the top of the planet where all the weather comes together. This is a new pole creating new field lines. Ta-da! Maybe we should rewake NASA up and get some people on this, because this is more than just a typhoon. Oh, I said the darn word again. Now, let's go back over here. See how this rotating magnetic field causes water to vortex, right? Well, water is denser than air, so it would make air vortex a lot easier than water, right? So if this little magnetic field, this oscillating magnetic field, can cause a vortex in water and easier in the air, let's go see what the air over this site looks like. So let's click back to, instead of currents, let's go back to the air. Oh, shit. Now does it make sense, you guys? This is not a typhoon. This is a magnetically induced storm. I just proved it to you. And, oh, yeah. This is the one. Look at this, you guys. Bullseye! Fucking bullseye. Look at that. What does that scream? What does this temperature scream? Look at this. What does this temperature anomaly tell you that's at the base of this? This vortex. This is a vortex in the air caused by the oscillating magnetic field underneath. Folks, you're looking at your new pole, and I can tell you what direction our planet will be rotating right here. Whether this becomes the South or the North Pole, we will be rotating that way. Clear as a bell. So you better start sharing this with your friends and getting everybody prepared, because as we back out, now that you understand the explanation, let's go back to this. Whoa, and we're zoomed in. That's what it is. Okay. Now that we know all this, and we zoom out to our spot, and I showed you, they were kind of right. It just was, okay, maybe the planet shifted just a tad bit more than they missed it by, missing the calculations or what. We do have a heat signature from a magnetic anomaly that's causing a X repulsion site and a whirlpool in the air above it. Ta-da! So it is a typhoon. It's a magnetic pole shift induced typhoon. And imagine how big this thing might get. Okay? So, I think you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Now, let's go in. Oh, wait. Let's go back. So, as I do this, some of you guys might want to take notes at the settings I'm on. So, I'm going to go, I think it was this one. I'm going to zoom in. Ooh, this is a different setting. But look at this temperature anomaly reading that this is also picking up. All right. Um, Dang, look at that. That is so intense, you guys. Look how tight the rotation is. This is not a typhoon. Look how tight that rotation is. There's not even an eye wall because it's so tight. That is no typhoon. That is your new pole superstorm about to create here. Watch out. There's going to be some kind of giant whirlpool that opens up here, and it might push water back from that, exposing land. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I can tell you right now, this is more than just a typhoon, because most typhoons don't have this kind of signature underneath them. This is a signature from the crust. Okay, this isn't the instrument making weird lines and stuff. These are magnetic field lines. See this little weird aperture type shape here? That's because the magnetic field lines are fighting and twisting. It's weak on this side and it's strong on this side because they're all adjusting. They're all trying to. We're going to have a magnetic pole flip here soon. Whether it's a crustal flip or not, I'm still getting into. But if our core rotating it backwards as well, this is all proof. This is all evidence of our core rotating backwards. This is all a result of our core rotating backwards. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And I was wishing a little bit last night, I was a little relieved going to bed that, oh, it's just a typhoon. But then I wake up this morning and I check, and the same anomaly's there. And I accidentally started going into different things on here, and I found the currents, and that was what I needed to find to show and to prove my theory. And by Jove, we've done it, folks. We've done it. We've discovered, you and me, you're my audience. We're all on the cutting edge right now. Nobody else has figured this out yet, except for you, except for me and you guys, all right? So it's up to you. You're the new army of information. You need to get it out there and let people know that this is no joke. This core reversal is happening. Okay? Here's evidence of it. I'm using their scientific their instruments to prove this, okay? I'm not postulating. I'm using their scientific instruments to prove my theories. That's what a proper scientist does. They don't just theorize. You have to take applied physics and apply it and run experiments, get results, and then those results, if you can replicate them over and over again, then those results tell you your theory was true. And to all those guys at Berkeley that wouldn't listen to me in the labs down there, look who's laughing now. Yeah, look who's laughing now, baby. Well, I ain't laughing, I'm crying. And the reason for my crying in the last video, and I love your guys' responses in the comment section. You guys are sweet. I know that we're going to a better place. I know better than all of you that where we're going, okay? I've showed you those faces in the clouds and stuff, all right? I've given you guys all a testimony of what's actually happening to me, all right? So I know. But I forgot my train of thought there. Anyway. You guys seeing this now? Is it making sense now? Let's go over to the other one. Bing. And pull back. Let's take away the winds. All right. get a coloration you guys can see maybe here, because this is a big gigantic spiral, kind of like the spirals that we're seeing carved on the rocks and stuff. Maybe that was a little hint at what we should look for. So all these guys that have been theorizing this and theorizing that and blah blah blah, Einstein, all these guys, well, guess what? Brian Knight just came through and proved you guys wrong. Anyways, oh, and right too at the same time. I've just taken it further is all. They weren't wrong. They were theorizing correctly, and maybe it wasn't until we had an event like this where we could take it a step further and finish off the unfinished physics. That's how I should put it. They weren't wrong. I take that back because it's not about who's wrong and right. It's about finding out what's going on. Look at this. It looks like a big old target, dude. This structure now is more than just a typhoon. All right. This is our new pole taking form right here, right in the middle of the Indian Ocean. And what's going to happen to the surrounding areas here, they will, I have no idea. But we're going to have a magnetic pole flip, at least a magnetic pole flip. All right. Undeniable. It's already starting. And what this is indicating to me is in the crust, if we're seeing this stuff in the crust, and the core is rotating backward at the same time we're having a magnetic pole flip, put those two together, the core rotating backwards at the same time we're having a magnetic pole flip, I think we might have a crustal pole flip at the same time, and that means devastation across the planet that will be unsurvivable. I don't think even going underground, because water is going to replace other places. Mountains will come up, go down. Other places will go down, will come up. The whole surface of the planet is about to change. We're going to change, folks. This is no longer a typhoon. This is a geomagnetically induced column, vortex column in the water and in the air, induced by this activity right here, indicating a true core reversal, causing a polar magnetic flip. Ta-da! There we go. I spit it out. Whew. Oh, that's a mouthful. And this can't wait. I can't wait for people's live streams to end and do my report in the middle of the night. I need a bigger audience. This is not working for me. I need to start doing this at appropriate time and in a more appropriate fashion here. Sorry for my lack of professionalism, but I was actually crying because I know that I'm going to be okay, and I know that you're going to be okay. I'm crying for the unbeliever, okay? See, my family doesn't believe me. They won't take 5 minutes to come over and look at my discoveries, let alone believe me. And it breaks my heart because there is a heaven and there is a hell, and I don't want my children going to hell. If you understand what I'm saying now, that's why I'm crying. I'm crying for a higher reason. It's not because of me. I don't feel sorry for me. I am in so much pain and agony and mental anguish, spiritual anguish. You guys, I'm undergoing something that is, I'm not going to go there. Anyways, so the reason for my crying is not for you, not poor me, not poor us, the poor unbeliever. The poor unbeliever. My family, my children, okay? You're all my children, and some of you don't believe me. And I need you to believe me, okay? I make mistakes sometimes, yes, we all do. And I was ready to eat crow and report back that thank God that this is just a typhoon and that this anomaly has disappeared. But it in fact has stayed, it shifted a tad, but it has stayed in its position. It's no longer just a typhoon, folks, okay? Thank you who said they were praying for me. I'm praying for you guys as well. You know, everybody should just start praying for each other now. That's why it says pray for each other in the Bible. Why? Because we need each other. We really do. And at this time, we really need to start loving on each other and holding each other close and stuff. You know, I think I'm not going to go any deeper. I will do a psychiatry session later on once these magnetic field lines get so bad that it affects the human brain, because we are attached to this as well. So this is going to cause chaos in animals and humans. Everybody is going to slowly lose their minds because of this magnetic field change. Maybe not lose their minds, but it's going to have effects on your mind. So when you start maybe hallucinating, or I don't know what is going to happen to your mind, but that's why you pray for protection from Jesus. He's the one that's there to protect your mind, okay? And these are all signs in the Bible. This is all stuff that was promised, okay? That's why I told you to label this list signs, okay? And on that list, I mean, we were at 12, and on that list, I got a couple of new things you need to add, but they're down at 15 and 16. I have jumped way, way, way ahead of our list now, and my theories are correct and proven correct now. So I have to go from the opposite end of the spectrum and work backwards from the bottom of this list and fill in up to the number 12. So this will be going on the list. This is the list, but I gotta find its proper placement on it, the effects, everything around it. There's more effects, okay? There's other stuff that I gotta dive deeper into my old lectures and all my other notes now. And if you guys are comprehending this, and some of you guys, you know, there's some high IQs in this room, I know. And if you guys see other effects and you know what to look for, please put them in the comment section. Or if you see them out there in the world, put the link in the comment section. You guys are a team now. You all need to start looking for side effects of this. We know the causes now. We need to start looking for side effects. I gave you side effects in the other video, but when you see a geomagnetic side effect come off over here on the Africa, we'll know it's a result of this, and you can report on it and send it back to me so I can tell you how it relates to this and report to the world. So you guys have all just you've all just been recruited as freelance reporters. Guess what? You all have a new job as freelance reporters to save the world. This is a mission from God, okay? This is not a joke. You guys are now on a mission from God. You are the elite that know, all right? You are the elite. That term that they use for the other group of criminals, they do not deserve that term, and I will never call them that. I will refer to them as the criminals they are. The elite are watching this show at this very moment. The elite are watching this replay later on. The elite are sharing this with their friends and their family and trying to describe to them what's going on. That's what the elite are doing. That's who the elite are. That's who you are. Remember I was trying to show you guys earlier your consciousness and stuff. Do you know who you are? Are you even aware of who you are? Yes, you are the elite. And we are going to take this into the spiritual realm in a little while, and I'm going to take you on a journey, and you're going to discover yourself in a way that you had no idea. It tells you the truth in the Bible, but you won't believe it until I show it to you. So, I'm going to show that to you too later on. But for now, you guys are looking at ground zero, our new pole forming. And I bet you the magnetic field up at either pole is getting really weak right now because a new magnetic field is taking over. And as I said, if it's a new magnetic field, we would see magnetic field lines, right? We would see some kind of magnetic field lines. And that's precisely what this grid work is. These are magnetic field lines starting to establish. And look, it's changed since the last one. This was just a straight line, and now it's forming a little box right here. Where was the other amplitude? This one. This was just the squares a little while ago that I showed you. Remember? It's growing, it's getting stronger and it is definitely not getting weaker. It is definitely not going. It is establishing itself in a strong, violent way. Look at this at another amplitude. Let's go deeper amplitude. Whew. Let's go even deeper amplitude. Look at this. See how it's all sucked onto one side and weak on the other? It's shifting. It's doing its thing, baby. All right, doesn't pick up on that amplitude, but on this one, this is the one now. On this amplitude now is the same site as we back out. As we back out is the center impact zone. Ta-da! Ta-da! We have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Everybody, quit watching the distraction on the news. There's a major problem. They're trying to keep you from noticing what's going on here. And I'm ringing the bell over here. I'm the watchman. Hey, look out, something's going on, something's going on. And now you guys understand. Now I can take the spiritual realm, put it into your scientific mind so I can prove it to you. All right? So that's what I'm doing. I am taking the spiritual realm using your scientific tools and imagery to prove it to your physical brain. Get it? Got it? Good. All right, that's just a little report for right now. I will be going live, I guess, later on after Marv. I'm kind of tired of waiting for that show. I don't want to step on his toes and steal his thunder, but that's why I'm doing this a little early. But that's it for tonight. I'll be back later on. Love you all. God bless you all. Until my next video. Bye.